What's good with your fam? Welcome to Big Faces Worldwide, where we talking nothing but this boxing, man. Hey, listen, man, first off, man, I want to thank you all for tuning into the channel. And if you're new here, I want you to think about subscribing because we stay knee deep into these boxing conversations, man. I want to talk a little bit about Tony Harrison and Jermell Charlo, the rematch. And whether or not Tony Harrison can do it again. Now, we just witnessed Jermell Charlo defeat Jorge Cotto in devastating fashion the other night. I mean, devastating fashion. I mean, when you laid out cold on your back, not moving, your ass is knocked out. I ain't talking about TKO. I ain't talking about getting up, stumbling around. I'm talking about plain cold out on your back. And that's what Jermell Charlo did, man. I think it was good for Jermell Charlo to get this fight in, to get this confidence booster in, to have an exciting explosive night like he did. You know what I'm saying? So he knows in his heart and knows in his mind that he can still do what he does. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was a benefit for him to get that fight in between the rematch. Did I see anything different in Jermell Charlo? To be 100 completely honest, I'm going to have to say no, I didn't. He looked like the same Jermell Charlo that I have seen in the past. You know what I'm saying? Can he do anything different? Yes. I have seen Jermell Charlo do a lot of things differently. You know what I'm saying? For those of you that's new to boxing, man, you may have not seen some of Jermell Charlo's older fights, like the one against Gabe Rosado, when Jermell Charlo boxed a beautiful fight. I mean, he boxed on the back foot, he boxed on the front foot, he used his lateral movement, he was in and out. You know what I'm saying? He used the ring to perfection. Or the fight with Vanis Martirosyan, he did the same thing. Jermell Charlo can box, man. It wasn't until he got with Derrick James, man, that Derrick James started having him sit down a little bit more on his punches, you know what I'm saying, that he realized that he does have this devastating power. And once you realize you got power, you like it, man, no matter what it's in, man. Power in life, power in position, in this instance, it's power in his punch. And once he realized that he can put dudes to sleep, he loved that feeling. And he wants to duplicate that feeling over and over and over again. And thus, he goes for the knockout more times than not. Instead of boxing, using his boxing ability that I know that he got, that a lot of other people know that he got. You know what I'm saying? But what can Tony Harrison do differently? Tony Harrison fought the perfect fight. You know what I'm saying? His key that night was patience. He was patient. He was letting Jermell Charlo, chase him around the ring, lunge at him, and he will make him pay. He will make him miss, and he will make him pay. You know what I'm saying? Tony Harrison has been known to have stamina issues in the past. He corrected that. He was able to go the full 12 rounds, although I believe it was the 11th or 12th round, Jermell did have him in some trouble. You know what I'm saying? He had him hurt, and he had him in some trouble. You know what I mean? So maybe Tony Harrison did get a little fatigued, but he was able to pull off the victory. A lot of people think Jermell won. A lot of people think Harrison won. It was that type of fight. It was that type of fight where, some people are going to say he won. Some people are going to say the other guy won, because it was that close of a fight. You know what I mean? Me, myself, I think Jermell Charlo won that fight. I'm one of those guys who think that, when you're fighting a champion, you have to go and take it from the champion. You have to make it obvious that you are dominating the champion. Tony Harrison did not dominate Jermell Charlo. He looked it good, very good in that fight, but I don't think he dominated Jermell Charlo. Charlo didn't dominate him. It was a very, very close fight, and in a close fight, it usually goes to the champion. Now, as far as the rematch, is Tony Harrison going to be 100% coming in the rematch, man. You know what I'm saying? With the ankle injury, he's going to have to rehab. I heard him in an interview saying that, he will start rehabbing his ankle in about a month. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to take some time to rehab his ankle. He's going to have to focus on that. And then he's going to have to focus on losing weight, because I'm sure he's going to pick up a little bit of weight while, being off for a month. Then he's going to have to focus on his craft and come up with a game plan to fight Jermell Charlo. But basically, Tony Harrison can, just do the same thing that he did, man, and try to stay sharp and, just box, man. Just try to outbox Jermell Charlo. What Charlo needs to do is box more and not be over anxious, not just go in there and look for the knockout. Even in the fight the other night against Cota, you can definitely see that Charlo was looking for the knockout. You know what I'm saying? Them first 2 rounds, he didn't look good. You know what I mean? He did not look good in those first 2 rounds. Cota touched him up a bit. You know what I mean? Jermell would hit him with a shot. Cota would hit him with 3, 4, 5 shot combination, man. May not be really hard punches, but he was getting his attention. You know what I'm saying? Jermell Charlo was trying to catch him with that big shot. One thing that I noticed about Jermell Charlo is that he is very, very particular. You can look at his clothes. You know what I'm saying? When he walks around, I've been around him. You know what I'm saying? He makes sure that he got a fresh cut. He makes sure he got his jewels dripping. He makes sure he got a fresh outfit on, fresh kicks. He makes sure everything is, very particular. And he's the same thing. He's the same way inside the ring. Jermell Charlo does not waste punches. He does not want to waste punches. He's very particular about the punches that he throws. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes he may look inactive, man, because he's not just going out there throwing punches, man. He wants his punches to count. He wants his punches to mean something. You know what I mean? And sometimes he, overextends himself when he tries to go for that very hard knockout punch, man. And Tony Harrison was able to make him pay for that. Now, hopefully, him and Derrick James can come up with a game plan to correct that. Hopefully he listens to Derrick James. He listens to what he has to say, you know what I'm saying, instead of going out there just trying to get the knockout, man. But I think that, the fight in between helps Jermell Charlo, man. It boosts his confidence up. It builds his confidence back up, man, because after taking your first loss, man, you see how he was in the post-fight press conference. He was up there crying, man. He don't like to lose, man. It hurted to lose. You know what I mean? And to come back in a fight and win a fight like he did the other night in devastating fashion lets him know that he's still the Jermell Charlo that he thought he was, that everybody else thought he was. You know what I'm saying? He still feels that he just had a bad decision that night. The judges, in New York didn't like his style, didn't like the Charlo brothers as a whole. He had said that out of his mouth. You know what I'm saying? But this fight won't be in New York. This fight will be in Vegas. The rematch was supposed to be in Vegas. I'm guessing that, that when they reschedule, it'll most likely be in Vegas again. You know what I'm saying? So that's a whole new commission with a whole new team of judges, probably. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully Jermell can come out there and do his thing, man. You know what I'm saying? But Tony Harrison, man, he's from Detroit. You know what I'm saying? They know what to do. They know they come out the womb fighting. You know what I'm saying? He trained with Emmanuel Stewart. Got his fundamentals together. Got his the foundation that he needed to become the fighter he is today, man. You know what I'm saying? And Tony Harrison is a complete fighter. If you look at even the fights that he lost, those are fights that he was winning, and he was winning big, man. He just got fatigued in those fights. He got fatigued, and in some instances, you could say that he lost focus in some of those fights. You know what I'm saying? And he lost to Jared Hurd, to the guy Willie Nelson. You know what I'm saying? But I think the rematch will be as good as the first match. You know what I'm saying? I think if Jermell Charlo does not correct his over anxious. If he goes in there trying to just go in there trying to KO Tony Harrison, I think, we may see the same result. You know what I mean? But if he takes his time and box like I know he can, like I've seen him do in the past, man, it could be a different result. But ultimately, it will be an exciting fight, man. Jermell Charlo is already looking ahead. You know what I mean? That may be a bad sign. You know what I'm saying? He's talking about getting his belt back from Harrison, and by the end of the year, he's talking about fighting J-Rock. You know what I'm saying? Julian Williams for 3 belts. We don't know what Jaime Munguia's over there doing. You know what I mean? He ain't over there really fighting no stiff competition, man. I believe that he lost his last fight against the guy from, I believe it was Ireland, down in Mexico. He got a little home cooking gift down there. You know what I'm saying? But I do not foresee De La Hoya putting him in the mix with these guys, man. I just don't see it. There's been no talk of it. You know what I'm saying? There's been no interest in it. He seems like he wants to go up in weight. So he more likely is going to go up. He's been talking about fighting Triple G, talking about fighting Canelo Alvarez. So I don't know what's going to happen with that WBO belt at 154, man. Excuse me, at 154. But, hopefully, it can get into the mix. And, possibly in 2020 we can see an undisputed champion, man. When you got champions going against champions, that is the best fighting the best. And, that's always good for the fight fan, because you get to see good fights. You get to see great fights. And that's what we want to spend our money on, is great fights. You know what I'm saying? We may get a couple duds here and there, man. You know what I'm saying? But the fight fan is not going to keep spending their money on lackluster fights. They're just not going to do it, especially in this day and age of streaming. And you can get fights so easily, man. You know what I'm saying? So I would think that these promoters would want to put on the best fights to make the American, or wherever you are, who goes out there and works hard for the money, man. You know what I'm saying? Get their money's worth. You know what I'm saying? Get their money's worth and let these guys fight. Let these guys fight. And I'm curious to see what Jarrett Hurd does. I saw a video. Shout out to Barbershop Conversations again. He was on fire this weekend, man. He was just catching everybody, man, getting interviews with everybody. But he caught up with Jarrett Hurd's dad, man, and it gave us a little insight on the split between Jarrett Hurd and Ernesto Rodriguez, man. Ernesto did not want to work with the team that Jarrett Hurd had put in place, and Jarrett Hurd didn't fire him. From what his dad's saying, but Jarrett Hurd let him know that this is the team that I put in place, man, and this is who I want to work with. Now, I want you to be a part of this, but if you don't want to be a part of this, then there's nothing I can do about that. So Ernesto Rodriguez decided to remove himself from the situation. So now Jarrett Hurd's in the process of, his dad said, either buying the gym, renting the gym, or finding the gym. You know what I'm saying? He says he got a couple calls from a lot of good trainers, man. So I'm real curious to see the trainer that Jarrett Hurd connects with, man. Hopefully he can help him out with some of his head movement, some of his defense, you know what I'm saying? And really take his game to the next level, because obviously he reached the pinnacle of the level with Ernesto. They reached their ceiling. You know what I'm saying? So, now he needs another trainer that can take him to the next level. But I'm real excited about this 154 division, 45-pound division, especially with the addition to J-Rock, coming in there throwing that monkey wrench in. You know what I'm saying? Tony Harrison throwing that monkey wrench in. You know what I'm saying? Can these former champions reclaim their title? Did they have an off night, or was the other guy just that much better? You understand what I'm saying? But we will see if Tony Harrison is able to duplicate the performance that he had in the first fight. But that's all I got for now, man. I appreciate you tuning in. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon button so you can be notified when I'm dropping more videos. Check me out on Twitter, on Instagram at Big Faces Worldwide, all one word. You know, Instagram to give you a little insight on my personal life, what I got going on, you know what I'm saying, in my life, in the past, present, and the future. You know what I mean? But in the meantime and in between time, I want y'all to stay blessed and keep on supporting the sport that we love called boxing. Peace. I'll holler back.